Does the USCF have any thing about early draw offers like that, or third move draw offers?
I don't think so. We weren't told anything. So as far as the USCF
especially
rules,
for a national event, you would think that there might be some guidelines about that.
Good question, actually. Let me text Judit before I ask the question on air of John McCumsky, and I will do that. All right, so here we go. Welcome everyone to the Mechanics Institute. This is the final round 7 of the 2020 U.S. Cadet Championship. I'm Abel Talamantez, chess director of the Mechanics Institute, and joining me is 3-time U.S. champion Grandmaster Nick de Firmian and FIDE Master Paul Whitehead. How's it going, guys?
Hanging in there.
It's been an exciting event.
Yeah, the 6th round. Yeah.
I'm wearing a brace on my hand.
The injured Paul Whitehead marches on with the commentary. But we had an absolutely exciting round 6. It was by far the most exciting round, and we've had exciting rounds throughout the tournament. But every game was dramatic, and Christopher Yu pulled out a win in his game, and the official standings won't come out until we complete the fair play review process, of course, but unofficially it looks like he is the 2020 U.S. Cadet champion, clear first. He's ahead 1.5 points on the field, and this is the final round. So congratulations to him. For that. So the battle for second and third is on, because I'm looking at the standings, and we have Arthur Guo has 4 points out of 6, and we have 2 players with 3.5, including Christopher Shen and Justin Wang. And Arthur Guo and Justin Wang are playing each other in this round. So even though it appears that Christopher Yu has won the $6,000 scholarship prize, courtesy of Dwayne Barber, the Dean of Scholastic Chess and the U.S. Chess Federation, there are cash prizes for first, second, and third. So players are playing for second and third place. And I think second is a $400 cash prize, and third's a $200 cash prize, along with the honor of closing out the show in fine form. So that is where we're at right now. And let me just jump to the apparent winner of the event. This round started at 4 p.m. It's 4:30, so it's a half hour in. What do you guys think? Christopher Yu is playing the black pieces right now.
I think he's going to be forced to win the game.
So Nick, shall we play what was the opening? I mean, is this a Carol Khan or something? Don't tell us, Abel, or don't tell me.
I won't, but I see what it is.
What do you think the opening was, Nick?
Yeah, I would guess the E takes F6 Carol Khan.
Okay. What was it, Abel?
It says English opening, Anglo-Indian Queen's Knight variation.
All right. Well, I can go home now. Oh, wait a minute. I am home.
Yeah, that's kind of the unique situation that we have here right now.
Yeah, actually, I was doing that for a while with my online class, Nick.
Oops.
I was telling everybody to have a safe drive home, which got a laugh or two.
So,
this game's going to be boring for some time. I don't know why Max is just not going to beat Christopher, especially in this position. You know, Endgame, everything even.
And I would think Christopher would be perfectly content to walk away with a draw and save the energy. So one thing that happened in this game early in the beginning, so on move 3 of this game, Christopher Yu offered a draw and Max declined it. And it's nice to see that fight in Max, especially since he's had not his best tournament, but that he wanted to keep the fight going and play on and play some chess. So in the chat, and he still declined to draw. So he's declining draws. He wants to play on. So I asked tournament director Judit, who is in the chat, that he's offered 2 times. This is the 3rd time he's declined it. He just offered again and he declined it, which prompted Nick to ask, or Paul, if there were any rules in this event with regards to early draw offers, since it's a national event. So Judit, if in the chat you can let us know if there are any rules regarding this national event with regards to early, and she says there are no early draw rules. So
they don't have to play to 30 moves or something like that.
Yeah, some craziness, something like that. And funny thing is I thought in my mind that we would have probably some quick games because Christopher Yu looks like he has won the event. And there's 3 players jockeying for 2nd through 3rd place, but everyone is playing on. Everyone is finishing their game, and this was a long weekend, especially 3 games yesterday, 3 games today, 1 on Friday. But they're playing it out, so it's sort of nice to see just that spirit of let's play it.
Well, these are young players, and they should have the energy.
And Judith is showing her a moderate disdain for super GMs. It seems like it's the super GMs that take the early draw, go out and have food and drink after. But the kids fight on and keep playing, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And RB212 is asking in the chat if there are any rules on the number of draws you can offer. Now, while there's no rules on the number of draws that you can offer, there is a USCF rule on annoyance and being annoying.
And we've talked about that a bunch of times.
We've talked about it, and some tournament directors utilize that more than others. I am definitely in the books, and there's a lot of people that will testify to it where I've warned people, stop being annoying. If there's no need to offer a draw on every move when it's clear they're not going to accept it. But that's a little bit tournament director discretion, but there is a rule about that. And I mean, frankly, it's really just common sense, to be honest. I mean, I think it's pretty clear cut when someone's trying to be deliberately annoying in offering draws. And some do it to be annoying. So, but technically there's no rules to the number of draw offers, because it could be that you offer 2 draws in the middle game and then offer 2 later in the end game, and that clearly shouldn't be constituted as annoying because it's a completely different scenario. But anyway, here is the game.
So it's interesting. It's the organizers can also specify whether there's early draws or not.
The organizers have a lot of latitude, actually, with how the event runs. It's sort of like the organizers can make a lot of decisions liberally, but they need to be able to justify those decisions if they ever come into question.
Right.
So Yeah, so like he who
I was just
controls
thinking
the,
of all.
he who controls the funds controls what happens in the tournament.
Yeah, I was just thinking of all kinds of funny things about that. Of course.
Yeah, so like if Dwayne said, "Hey, I'm gonna give $10,000 to the winner, but no draw offers before move 20," no one is gonna offer a draw before move 20. So let me flip to the next game here. This is Rui Yang Yan against Robert Schliatenko.
Oh, two fighting players.
Yeah, this should be exciting.
Yeah, my feeling again is that Rui is accepting these kind of structures that sort of. It looks to me like Black's sort of gotten what he wants, but that's
Yeah, nice to exchange those light squared bishops in a French defense.
Yeah, and this bind on the light squares and stuff, and we've seen Rui sort of go through this already in a game earlier in this tournament, as well as in a game that I can recall with Kyron on Griffith. So I'm not sure why she just keeps going into this kind of
Like these
thing.
these closed structures that are very positional.
Where you're also, and kind of the prevailing, thing going back to Nimzovich Capablanca game and other things is that these are not very good for white. These kind of structures,
Unless that's
they're
your
difficult
wheelhouse.
to play.
But this does not seem to be her wheelhouse, at least yet. Okay,
Well,
so
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
what do you think, Nick?
No, I think Black is very happy with the opening, even if it's not that bad for white.
Right.
But, what I liked is last game, Rui, when she was about to lose a pawn or something, she said, "Time to go for it," and she did. She charged out, started the tactic. First time in the tournament I saw her just initiate things, and it was great. She probably should have won the game.
Yeah, so it's just a little bit of adjustment in her play, and she'd be, sort of get a step ahead, and not find herself in these unnecessary problems in the opening, or having these kind of issues. They're completely avoidable.
So let me move on to the next game. This game is probably the game of with the most on the line in the round. This is Justin Wang is white against Arthur Guo. Arthur right now is clear second with 4, and Justin Wang's at 3.5. Let me just verify that is the case. And that is the case. So if Justin wins this game, he's going to leapfrog over Arthur and get at least a share of second. So a lot going on. This is out of Nydorf. And what do you think?
It's Black able to exchange the dark squared bishop. That's a positive here. That bishop on g2 isn't as good.
Yeah, white wants to put the knight on e4, but then, Black seems to have gotten a good game out of the opening here.
And then another game in the round here. This is Andrew Hong and Christopher Shen.
Okay, this is a good
Another French.
Noir variation.
Correct.
Yeah, this is another French here, but this is more like it for white. Complex. Remember that game we were watching, Nick, with Shanklin playing white in this winnower thing?
Yes, he played it very well.
Yeah.
And this is similar. I'd say white has an advantage in this opening.
And Andrew Hong currently is at 3 points. So there is actually a chance for him, if he wins, to maybe get a share third.
He's been a little out of form, and Christopher Shen, I mean, is having a pretty decent tournament, I think.
He is. He's only lost to Arthur, but he's drawn Christopher.
Right. He's the only person to draw Christopher.
Only blemish on Christopher's record is the other Christopher
right.
getting a draw. And then, of course, Christopher Yu is here as black. Do you think it's frustrating for him to, I mean, he clearly wants the draw and to kind of move on, and his opponent declined it. Is that something that is frustrating, or is that just chess? That's the way it is?
I bet he's a bit frustrated.
Yeah.
Like, okay, do I really have to do this?
Well, White has something to play for. I mean, a little bit, a pawn majority on the queen side, and also just knowing that black wants a draw is a sort of a bird in the hand,
Well, how about this? I mean, Max has had a tough tournament. He's beaten Rui, but has lost the other games. Might there be something in him that says, you know what, this tournament was not how I envisioned it. This was not my best. But here in this one game, I have a chance to play the winner, and why not give my best and try to get some redemption and go for it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not sure if that's what's going on, but sounds good.
Yes, it's a little bit of a strange opening for redemption, but...
All right, let's keep an eye on this game.
Nick, I've been playing over these great games where Lasker, like Carlsen, trying to squeeze water out of a stone out of these positions. It's amazing.
Squeezing water out of a stone. That's tough. That's tough. It's hard to do.
Yeah, some players are just extraordinarily good at it.
Well, all those world champions were so great in the endgame.
Oh, yeah. That's what I've so much come to appreciate that. There are just a very few elite players that are up there with them, like Rubinstein and just a few. Who is a great endgame player, as I've started to look at endgames, is Anthony Miles.
Yes, he loved to just get some endgame edge and grind away.
Yeah, and Ulf Anderson, of course. I mean, there's some players that they're kind of noted for their endgame, but it surprised me about Miles because I never paid that much attention. But a lot of his games are kind of are endgame grinds, like you said.
Does it take a certain psychology to be the type of player that gets a thrill out of that slow, deliberate grind, getting to the end game, finding that incremental advantage, and staying motivated, like where you're seeking that as often as you can? Like, is that more psychology, or is that just expertise in the end game?
A lot of psychology. Miles was a professional. He just, what it took to win. He was happy to take a boring end game and grind.
Yeah. Maybe it has to do with that fighting spirit too, like you said, like you're saying. But also expertise. It's not easy to be a great endgame player, I think.
This is looking tough for Rui, to me.
Yeah, I mean, she's her own worst enemy, getting into these positions over and over and over again. I don't really kind of understand it.
A coach needs to work on the opening.
Yeah.
This is very, very similar to several games already that we've seen of hers.
Here's the other French.
And of course, the difference is that the white squared bishops are still on the board. and as well as other differences, but this is very complex.
Something like queen to d2 looks like a good move for white. Just say some advantage.
And then flipping over back to this game, Justin Wang and Arthur Gould.
You trade the bishops. These young players are different than me. When I can get a positional advantage, everything else equal, one little plus in the positional column, I'm happy. And
but look at this. Black is going for e4 here.
That's a complex position, yes.
Black is deciding to play it in a tactical manner.
Put the knight on e5,
or just this like very tempting idea of playing e4, and it looks strong.
It's true that rook is horribly placed on f3.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Jeez.
And this is where younger players have it over the older players, that they're less prejudiced and less stuck in their thinking. Or like the concrete in a way,
True.
Well, there you go. Knight d2.
Knight d2, if that knight comes to e4, white is happy. You go knight to f6, then I guess h4 doesn't work because you go bishop d2, queen d2, knight g4. So knight f6, threatening e4 again. Wow, maybe the rook has to scoot over to b3.
Oh gosh, that would be horrible. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be consistent though. Knight f6 looks like the consistent move with Black's idea with bishop g5.
And in the chat, I've just posted the link to the standings for the U.S. Cadet. This is the final round. The time control is G70 plus 10. Unofficially, Christopher Yu is the champ. He is 5.5 out of 6 right here in the final round. Second place is Arthur Gould, International Master, with 4. And then FIDE Master Christopher Shen, International Master Justin Wang are at 3.5 points. So they're jockeying for second and third. That is what's on the line. And amazing games throughout the whole tournament, but round 6 was just a barn burner. That was just action packed.
Yeah, I mean, so much going on. Like, one of those games would have just kept us occupied, but there were about 3 with all these firework tactics.
Yeah.
So there's one game we haven't looked at, I think, right? The Robert, the Russian.
Yeah, that was against Rui.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Schliatenko.
Oh, yeah.
Who's seems to be doing quite well. But I mean, here's Rui being Rui, right? It's, she looks like she's in a little bit of a shell, and then she's gonna do something like G4 and F5, and all of a sudden there's like an opportunity somewhere or something.
Well, being a counter puncher,
it means you're getting punched, right? Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I mean, she's not done it right, but there's nothing so bad about her position, and things can come out her way.
Yeah.
Let's check on the Max Liu and Christopher, who has declined at least 3 draws. Hey, Nick, have you ever been in a situation, or for you, Paul, also, where you offered a draw where you really thought it was dead drawn, and they decline, and then you just have it fixed in your mind you're going to look to beat them because they kept declining, and now you're looking to win? Or is that not an attitude you adopt?
I think you just try to stay objective. I mean, that's the most important thing.
Let your emotions get the best of you.
You know, I don't remember many draw offers in my games. You know, because I don't remember many draw offers. I learned early on that like the players that were better than me were never going to offer me a draw. You know, so and they were always going to try to beat me.
Right.
And then that to offer them a draw was just senseless. And you know, it's like showing your neck. Here, bite me. You know. So I realized that it was going to be just a battle to the end. And so they trained me. You know, players like Nick and other players that I played, they were always going to. You know, there were a couple of times when I offered a draw or got offered a draw when maybe I won some money in a tournament or something like that, and I took it, or for that reason.
I've never seen such filthy greed, Paul.
There was one time Paul and I won this tournament. It was up at the Paul Masson Vineyards.
Oh yeah,
chess tournament was actually up there. Beautiful, you know, hillside.
Yeah, I just drove past it like a month ago. Yeah. It's still there. I don't know how active it is, but
I saw Spassky and Irva up there.
And John is joining us right now. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Sean, are you growing your hair long? Does John have long hair?
Hey, John.
I'm afraid so.
He hears you.
I cannot believe it.
Well, it's channeling myself back to...
I love it, man. Like the 60s, 70s.
Yeah,
I think my barber went out of business. Well, what can I say?
Yeah, what can you do? Thanks for joining us, John. We round 6 was just completely action-packed, phenomenal games, and we're here in the final round, and it looks like Christopher Yu is the clear winner. Nobody can catch. Yeah, nobody can catch him.
Right, going in, very impressive performance.
Yeah, and all the kids are still fighting. Everyone's mixing it up. Let's go to this game here because this is the one for this round has the most at stake. International master Arthur Guo is in clear second with 4. Justin Wang's just a half point behind, and we're at this position right here. And by the way, Christopher's offered his opponent a draw on 3 different occasions, and his opponent has declined it all 3 times. So that's kind of interesting.
Has his opponent offered him draws back?
No.
Okay, because, you know, I don't know, it's kind of old school, but the normal etiquette is, you know, you offer a draw, they decline it, you don't offer it again until they offer it. But if they offer it and you decline it, then the ball comes back to you.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfectly normal.
That makes sense, right?
There's so much. I don't understand all this draw 3 offers in a row.
I remember, John, you played a Monday Night Rapid one time, and like an 1800 player offered you a draw, and you had this look on your face of like utter like, come on, really, not right now.
Well, it was such a great gift that I was just incredulous.
So what do we think here? White has played C4.
Time to take it on passant.
Yeah, you can if you want to.
Are the games on chess.com or where are they being broadcast?
Oh, so pull up twitch.tv/mechanicschess.
Okay,
you'll see what we're following. Just make sure you mute the Twitch.
Okay.
You'll see the sound in the Twitch.
Okay, just 1 second, I'll be with you.
Oh yeah, take your time, no rush. And then you'll see what we're watching.
Okay.
That's a great move, Bishop E3, Rook E3.
Well, I guess Black was losing or White was losing a pawn on rook b3.
A rook e3 is a terrific move. I think black maybe should have just played bishop d2 and bishop takes c4 or something like that.
Yes.
This is a great move, rook e3.
It's an exchange sacrifice, but bishop on a6 is out of play. The e pawn is weak.
Yeah, white was on the ropes, and now this is a terrific move. I love it.
So this is for second place, if I understand correctly.
Correct. It could be for second place. Yep.
White must be so happy to have been able to play that move. Not to say that Black's not happy to take the exchange.
It's getting something in return.
Hey, we want everybody to be happy, right?
Yeah. We aim to please. So let me do a check-in on Rui's game here against Robert Schliatenko.
It always looks like Rui's on the defense in the opening.
Yeah.
Abel, quick question.
Yeah.
I'm on the. I can see the board now, but how do I? Which do I mute it in Zoom or do I mute it in Twitch?
In Twitch, you mute it, and then we talk via Zoom.
Gotcha. Okay.
Perfect. I keep forgetting to remind people that that's the way to go. But yeah, talk in Twitch, mute Zoom.
I think Black's kind of screwed this up. Is that a chess term, John? I've heard Nick use it a few times.
It's still applicable from whenever you started using it.
Well, I was going to say that Christopher's performance is really impressive, and I think there, odds are that he's going to join Gregory Young and Sam Shanklin and Daniel Naroditsky down the road in becoming a Bay Area player that wins the U.S. Junior closed.
Yeah.
Are you already scouting him out for the Olympic team, John?
Well, it's there's no spots free right now, but so he's definitely a very promising young player.
But he's only
Yes,
14,
is.
right? Or how old is he?
But I've got some trivia questions here for you guys, but Paul's not allowed to answer. Who's the only American player ever to finish above Garry Kasparov in the tournament?
I believe I know the answer to that.
Yes?
I'm going to say Jay Whitehead.
And you'd be right. So he was also a great mechanics star. That was back in 1977 in the World Cadet. And the other guy who's a bit tougher to, this guy in 1993 took second in the world under 10 behind Etienne Bacrot of France, but ahead of Alexander Grishuk, Barjan Akobian, Ganguly of India, and like another 10 or 12 future grandmasters.
Wow.
He even beat Bacrot in the tournament, and he's from the Bay Area.
Can I try to answer this one?
Sure.
Franklin?
No.
Nakamura, is he from the Bay Area?
No.
No, he's not.
He's a Californian now, as I understand it, living in LA, but no, he's played at the mechanics in a closed round robin.
Californian now.
Huh. Why is my
Melik?
Jordy Monrenard.
Jordy. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Back in the day, yes.
That
Wow.
had been back in the day. Yeah.
That was, he's a player that I know nothing about. I mean,
Oh, it was a tremendous performance, but it gives you an idea. Just another Bay Area youngster who did really well, and of course we've got a lot of I mean, if you're talking about homegrown talent, then I bought would definitely be up there.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
one of the things a lot of these younger players have in common is they were all winners of the Neil Faulkner
Award. Yeah, we have two of them here with Christopher Yu and Andrew Hong.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if it's not out of the question that potentially, although I don't know what his age is relative to Rui's, but I wonder if Rui could potentially be competing for the Falconer and be the first female to win it, because she's an exceptionally strong talent, and I think right now she's number 5 or 6 in the country in her age group, just overall, boys and girls. I think, or certainly top 10. So that'll be fun to watch and see if she keeps progressing.
Right. With the award for being for players under 18, I mean, it looks like Christopher's in the driver's seat
For quite a few years. Yeah.
But this position's kind of interesting. I mean, White's got one pawn for the? No, he has no pawns for the exchange. But now he's the problem. Black's queen's going to come in, try to break that blockade on E3. But it won't be easy, but it seems like it should be doable.
yeah, maybe with moves like H5 coming in or something, or
Yeah, that makes sense. Perfect sense.
I thought White was significantly worse before as well. I mean, maybe this is the best that he could have done. What about Christopher's game?
Let's go back and.
Yeah, I missed the Geordie days. I didn't know him as a player.
Well, he was also kind of an interesting tribute answer to another question, which is what Bay Area chess player has like the closest connection to Bobby Fischer? And the connection that he had was that he and his family lived in a house that was rented to them by Joan Targ, Bobby's sister. So, one assumes that Fischer had been in that house at some point, so there was some Fischer mojo still floating around.
Fortunately,
John,
I'm aware of that because of Paul.
Well, I have to apologize. I sort of have Fischer on the brain right now. I'm within 20 pages of doing the final proof of this book I've been working on and off for the last decade. So Fischer's like, it's.
Are you almost done with
in
that?
my skull. Pardon?
Are you almost done with that project?
Almost done. Yes. And like 2 or 3 days it'll go to the publisher.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect book to get if you have high heating bills from PG&E. Buy a couple copies of this book and place it in strategic parts in your home to block the draft, and it's a great deal. It's like 650 pages.
And when the weather's warm, you can read it.
So it's
there you go.
It's up there with MCO, right?
Yeah. Well, I think you can have MCO and you can have this book on Fischer, and that way one of your arms won't get stronger than the other one when you're doing curls. So here it looks like.
Has White opened the H file, or did Black open the H file, or does it matter?
I think Black opened the H file.
Yeah, Black did right there, and let me go back to it.
Yeah,
here.
so Black probably gained a little bit from that, of course.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Right. I mean, because
it was Black.
Black. Obviously, White has the theoretical advantage that his pawn structure is a bit healthier, but it seems like Black's pretty well positioned here. I mean, it looks like the position's relatively equal, I would think.
I really think Mac should offer a draw.
Or 3 draws.
Well, it'll be the 4th draw. Let's check in on Andrew Hong, former Neil Falconer Award winner at Mechanics, against FIDE Master Christopher Shen. Kyron Griffith is in the chat. What would the ideal setup be for black and white, and why?
I'm not sure that is Kyron Griffith.
Oh, that isn't actually. He's,
Right.
was it
Tejas.
14 Rabbits? That's Tejas Mahesh.
Yeah.
Mechanics volunteer extraordinaire. And I
Well,
think
this
I may
is-
have
this
switched
is-
the position for that question, so...
Well, this is a sort of position that Nick played many times on the white side and with great skill. White has the 2 bishops, and he particularly has the dark squared bishop, and he's pressing against the e6 pawn. But on the other hand, black's bishop on a4 keeps the queen side from being opened, and it's not easy to engineer an advance of white's kingside pawns without giving black some play. But I would still have to think that white's for choice here.
That would certainly be my opinion.
And going back and taking a look at Justin Wang and Arthur's game here. Arthur is up the exchange, and white trying to generate compensation.
It's funny, black needs to open the position up, give white some time, get the rook to a2, either e2 or d2, hit bishop e4.
Black would be better off without the pawn on e4.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that if black dallies, dithers here, you could easily imagine if white can get bishop d4 in, followed by knight e3, and then put his king on a2, and then start pushing all his kingside pawns.
Exactly.
Is that black gets to make moves too, but there's some potential in white's position.
That would be a Petrosian-esque play.
And we're going to make it a real family affair here. We're going to have Josh Friedel come on with us.
One of America's, one of the strongest grandmasters in the Midwest.
Hello.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. You?
Very good. Abel here, and you are here with John Donaldson, Nick de Firmian, and Paul Whitehead.
Yeah, I can say, guys. How's it going?
One more, and
I
we'll have the
remember
Brady
Josh-
Bunch.
Yeah.
I remember when Josh, you played in this tournament at the Mechanics in 2000, 20 years ago.
Yep. Yeah.
Did you win it?
No.
No, you were one of the younger competitors.
Yeah, I think I was 13, and everyone else was a bit older.
Right.
yeah.
I think you were maybe a strong expert at the time. Does that sound right? Maybe low master.
I think low master or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
but
I think
you
I
were
maybe
not
just hit master or something. I don't know.
Right, but you were not one of the favorites. I mean,
No.
It's funny, the players that did do well in that tournament, the guys that won it, they stopped playing chess within a few years.
I'm trying to think. So the winner, I think, was Mark Geist, I want to say.
That's right.
And he
Ohio.
definitely, I don't think he played, he was actually the lowest rated. I remember this, but he was played really, really well. And I don't know that he plays anymore. But I remember he played extremely well in that tournament. And then I forget who he tied with. Was it Pixton or no?
No, Pixton was third.
Okay.
He did get to be an IM, but he stopped now as well.
Yeah.
But Daniel Fernandez played in that tournament.
Yep. Daniel Fernandez, I remember. Steigman played. Who else?
One of the players that tied for first, I can't remember his name now, but he Matthew Traldy, maybe?
Sounds.
And John, you
no,
were
I
the-
don't think so.
John, you were the director?
Yes.
Interesting.
I just remember that during the tournament, there were no problems or anything. All the players got along really well together and everything. So it was kind of uneventful in that sense. But I remember one point there was a big parade in downtown, and the club was it's one block off of Market Street, so it was a bit noisy for that round. It was a little distracting. That's sort of my memories of the event.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're right. It was trial day. I completely forgot about him, actually.
Right. Again, another player that was promising, but that didn't continue.
Yeah.
But if you look at the difference in strength between that tournament and now,
Yeah.
like night and day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we sort of have the benefit of online. Pretty much every the 7 highest rated players we could have invited accepted.
Yeah.
So.
Right, but even then, I mean, there were no players that were like 14-year-old IMs.
Right.
Not so many. I mean, there were a few who got really high, but like not that many. So I mean, now I think there are just far more players.
Hey Josh, where are you living right now?
I live in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for. I know when we organized the Blitz Tournament of the Americas, I watched your stream with Yvette, and I had no idea. I mean, you have some crazy Spanish skills.
Oh, I don't know about that. I've been learning a few years, and I've gotten better. I've had a lot of friends who have been helping me, but I don't know. The fact that I speak and lots of people listen is a little frightening still. I'm getting there.
But it was a lot of fun to watch that.
Yeah. She's a good friend of mine, so it's always kind of fun.
Very.
And she's a bit crazy, so.
And you stream regularly. Do you stream on a certain day and time, or?
Yeah, I usually do Tuesday nights, like around 9 to 10 Central, and then 1 p.m. on Fridays, and then before it was Sunday, but lately I've been doing commentary for this Scholastic event, 10 a.m. to noon on Saturdays. So I usually just do a few times a week.
Yeah.
I don't really have interest in doing more. So.
Aren't you also on lead chess as well?
Yes. Yep.
It can be draining.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't do really what streamers do. I just kind of study chess, and then I happen to be streaming. So
right.
I'm not actually actively trying to promote my stream or do things for subscribers or anything that like you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I just kind of study chess, and then I stream, and then like, oh, hey, Ray's here. He can help me analyze, and it's kind of nice.
It was funny. I was listening to a podcast with Judit Sztaray, who streams that. I mean, she'll do a lesson with Daniel Naroditsky, and she'll stream that. Or
Yeah.
And I started thinking, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
To do that.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and Danya does like lots. He's kind of perfect for it because he's very skilled at playing online, in particular at faster type controls and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And he, kind of has his own personality he brings to it, and he's kind of interesting to listen to and watch. So, I mean, he kind of has a good personality for that, I think.
He's great at capturing impressions of certain players.
Yes, he is. He can do an impression of almost his Kasparov is really, really good. I was surprised. And he can do other people. He has a good Wesley. Like, I mean, yeah. I do not bring any entertainment to my streams, so it's not really something I do. But.
So here we have this game with I am Justin Wang and Arthur Guo. They are battling for second place in this tournament. Christopher Yu has won it outright already. What do you think here?
Well, I tuned in a little bit earlier where White put the rook on e3, and I thought like Black's position should be okay there, but I probably wouldn't take the rook. Like, it didn't seem necessary to take the rook. Like, I thought Black could just kind of play moves. But now it looks very, very difficult to play for Black. Like, the knight's going to come to e3, the rook comes to f1, it's just kind of automatic for White, and playing for Black looks really, really difficult. You kind of have a dead bishop on a6. Like, you have to play like, I don't know, like you have to try to play like rook a8, bishop c8, and try to defend. But
it looks to me like White's on the verge of winning here.
Yeah, maybe f6 is just very strong. Yeah. No, I mean, because you're just going to maneuver the knight and take e4 or bring the rook in. I mean, it looks really, really bad to me.
Wow.
Maybe play knight e3 and rook and transfer your king to a2 and advance.
I might try to take on e4 with the knight, actually, right?
It'll transfer the king to a2.
Yeah, well, I never got to do it in one of my games, so I always was like hoping for it,
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, well, I guess with an open e-file it would be difficult. So if you put the knight on e3, maybe you have time. But I don't know. A knight's going to land on d3.
That's true. Yeah, it'd be a little messy.
Yeah, but probably I would just maneuver the knight to take on e4, and d6 is also going to be weak, and I don't know. Doesn't look like black should pull.
So let me check in on Rui Yang Yan and Robert's game here. And Rui plays g4.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those where I feel like you want to play for this eventually, but probably not soon. Like, I mean, black can play h5, for example. And I don't know. Seems like maybe it's actually just okay. I'm surprised though. Like, it seems like black had an okay position earlier, maybe.
Oh wow, black.
Yes, I think black was better earlier, and maybe has misplayed this.
Yeah.
Wow, and I got those double pawns there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that so much, but I guess the problem I have with black's position is it seems, especially with an open file, like the fact that your rooks are not connected is really bad. Because the c file is only going to help white, and even if you play h5, h3, like normally that's kind of nice to have, but your king's stuck on e8. If your king were on b7, I would like black's position quite a bit.
Black should have made a king march to a7.
Exactly.
Yeah. The king on
It's not
e8
too
is
late.
Opening the game up.
Yeah. Maybe you could try king d8, I don't know. I don't see any direct refutation, although you have to be careful because f5, if f5, even, I mean, f6 is a committal move, but if you can make it so the bishop just disconnects your whole position, it could be really annoying.
But you want to throw in pawn to h5.
Yeah,
So
I mean, ideally,
open the
right?
line up.
Just so like white has to open their own king if they want to play like this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Let's
But
take a look at Andrew Hong's game against FIDE master Christopher Shen.
Another French, huh?
Yep. 2 win hours in
In
this.
honor of the late Wolfgang Ullmann, who just passed away a couple days ago.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
wow.
He was a fan of the black side of the wheel.
Oh, for sure. Let's see.
Should white take on g6 and play a rook h1, or?
I
I mean,
think you
if-
can
if
get
it-
away with that tactically.
Yeah, tactically is what I was gonna say. Yeah. I think you might be able to though. Because you want to put the rook on h1 and maybe put the other rook on f1 if you have to.
Right.
Or even a bishop on f4 if you want to lock things down. Like, positionally it should be quite good for white, but you have to make sure your king's safe, yeah?
If you take on g6, queen g6, rook h1, bishop takes c2. Oh no, rook takes c2. I'm sorry. I was seeing a hallucination there.
The bishop controls the g3 also, so it's going to make tactics pretty difficult for black, I think.
So
Winner position, having a bishop on e5, I don't know how it got there earlier. It didn't come from a3, obviously, but it's like a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you don't want to have happen in the winner.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like something went very wrong. Like the bishop on a4, it's funny because I've had students who played the French and they love this bishop on a4 so much. But there are times it just feels like it really does nothing. And I don't know if it does nothing, but it's not good enough. Like the bishop would rather be trying to head to the king side, no?
Right. I mean, it goes to a4 to stop white from playing a4 and putting his bishop on a3 to activate the bishop. And the bishop's already all it can be on e5, so there's not really much point to it.
But one game in 10, black can play bishop takes c2. Right?
Yeah, if black gets in bishop takes c2, then they're doing great. But I don't feel like white has to allow this. If they're careful. But it's still tricky, right? Because the white king is not perfect. But I feel like maybe white can just take rook h1, bishop f4, something like this. Try to consolidate a little bit.
So we're
I don't know. It's not simple.
gonna check in on Christopher Yu's game here against Max Liu.
Every exchange is good for white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exchange.
I'm assuming white didn't just play knight h1, but captured a rook on that.
There it is.
Maybe it's a very
right
deep
there.
maneuver. Yeah.
It's funny, Christopher, you so much wants to just draw, finish the tournament, done, he's run, and
Yeah,
he's having to play.
Max has declined like 4 or 5 draw offers from Christopher.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean, you
that's
should
very
know that you played
strange.
one.
Yeah.
Right. One draw offer is usually enough, and
This
you know your
looks to
opponent.
me like it's what white is closing in on something real here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not sure about knight c7.
Yeah. I mean, is bishop c5 out of the question for white here?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I mean,
And then e3 after that.
or c4 and start trying to make something of this pawn majority. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I don't know if you want to keep the c4 square for the king if you can.
Trying to figure out what setup black should do here. Like, I thought that black was kind of okay if they play, like, say, put a pawn on g5, king on d6, and just kind of try to sit, more or less. That looked pretty tough to crack through. Just because white has different squares to control, right? Like, you can think about playing knight c5 to e4 if they're not careful. You can just leave the knight on e6, and at the very least, it doesn't look easy to win.
Right.
Like, it looks like white would have a long road. Whereas here, I'm not so sure the structural change helps, but even just aside from that, I'm not sure where the knight's going. I guess if you can get in knight d5 and knight c3, you're harassing them a little bit, but I don't think that white has to allow this. Like, even takes in knight f2, I don't. Like, knight d5, you can even play knight d1, right? Like, you're not, it's only
Right,
temporarily
Yeah,
passive.
exactly.
Yeah. It's not going to be passive for that
This
long.
is shaping up a little bit for white.
Yeah.
Let's check in on the Justin Wang Arthur Gould game.
So white's, yeah, I mean, it
Playing
should-
for mates.
Just queen h4, like just trying to play g5 and queen h4 and knight g3 and sack. That's maybe an okay way to do it. I mean, black doesn't have an active piece, right? So,
Yeah.
Right. He's gonna have one knight defending against all of white's pieces.
yeah. No, this is probably just lost.
It's like black's pieces are corralled in over on the queen side almost.
Yeah.
Let's see how Rui and Robert are doing here.
So the H file did get opened up. So to keep white honest a little bit,
Yeah.
looks like black's king's preparing to go to d7.
I don't know. Sacks on d5 are going to be very scary if you
Oh,
try
you're
that,
right though. You are right. Especially
Yeah.
there'll be a rook on c1. Yeah, it'll be So d7 doesn't look so safe, but
No. I mean, honestly, even if they don't play king d7, sacks on d5 do not look bad. And then queen e4, d5, I mean.
right. So the question is, why did black play queen a7?
Yeah,
Seems,
the
it
king
seems
belongs
optimistic,
there.
no?
Yeah.
I feel like you had to choose, like, all right, the king probably has to go to the queen side, right? So king d8, king c7 seems a little more prudent, no?
Right.
This looks very optimistic. I mean, even just rook bc1 first, and
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
saw she got on the scoreboard the last round, and maybe looks like a good chance for her to add to that.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. This is looking a little tough for black, I think.
yeah.
Nick,
Maybe
only
the
thing for
queen
white-
can come to a4.
Right. The one thing white wants to avoid, it looks like, is like rook on b to c1 and walking to knight takes d4. Except for,
Yeah, but it's never going to work, right?
yeah, I guess you're going to have the queen on a6. Yeah, so it looks like black really has no active counterplay.
Yeah.
Let's
black has to worry about f5.
I just switched it there. Back to Andrew Hong and Christopher Shen.
So I played rook h1. I mean, you have to calculate moves like whether knight d6 is annoying and stuff like that, but you could probably just take it. I don't believe, like, queen takes f2 is one check usually, right?
Right.
So the bishop on e5 is just so, like, because it covers g3, I think it enables white to play with a little more freedom. I guess like knight g7, you always have to calculate though. I mean, it looks awkward, right? But I think white would definitely sign up for like being able to take on h5 and make you give up your light squared bishop or something. So.
So let's go to the Endgame Lab, and here we have Max Liu and Christopher Yu.
Ah, they went for this. Okay.
What do we think here?
Yeah.
So if he takes it.
So takes knight b6 is the idea, yeah?
White have knight e3 and then later knight d5 to go into a king and pawn endgame. We'll have the c3 pawn.
Oh, I think Christopher's just being impatient.
Yeah, he's mess. Yeah, I think black is getting into trouble here.
Yeah. I think it's easy to do in those positions because, like, you probably should sit, but no one really wants to sit. So they want to be able to do things. And I don't know. It looks very risky because the prospect of a king and pawn endgame is now closer. And you can almost never enter it, right? So,
right. So if white takes on c4 and black plays knight b6 and, I don't know, say like white plays knight b2 and king c6 and king e3 and king c5 and king d3, doesn't even get the pawn back, but even if he did, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, like that's the thing, like knight e3 is, I think, probably the best for sure, but I was even looking at knight b2, right? You put your king on c5, king on d3, but even
Maybe
there,
then it's hard
I
to
don't
make
like
progress.
your position, right? Because you can't really move. Because
Right,
you can never
right.
even take the pawn if I move my king back, right?
So maybe I'm just playing knight e3 and knight d5 and giving up the pawn on d5.
Yeah.
Or getting the pawn on f6 instead.
Yeah, now maybe his idea is king b6, knight d5, take c4, and play for counterplay somehow and claim the knight on f6 is out of play. But I definitely don't think I would have gone this way. Like, you're not getting enough active counterplay probably for this. But I actually don't mind the patient approach either. Like knight e3, king d6, even just king e2 to d3 looks pretty annoying.
Yeah.
And then maybe then you're playing knight g5 under better circumstances.
Yeah, that's my idea.
Well, this game's got
surprised.
a ways to
You
go.
know, I mean, it's probably part of this is due to the tournament standings where Christopher's already won the tournament.
Right. He was like a point and a half ahead going into this last round.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also, you know, the psychology, you know, he's offered 3 or 4 draws already. And
Well, that's not good, but
Yeah.
it is kind of tough because there's really nothing for white to play for in the sense that there's no rating points on the line. The prize money's already been determined. The place in the tournament. I mean, it's just for pride, if you will.
yeah.
Well, definitely for Max, because he's got 1 point in the whole tournament. And I was talking to Nick and Paul earlier. Perhaps he's looking at this game as something that can salvage the rough weekend that he had.
Sure.
But, I mean, it's just funny that black has just gone into the one kind of thing that white needs to sort of win this game, right? I mean, you could have seen this coming 30 moves ago almost. It's like, why didn't black decide to do something about this? Strange.
Well, I think they decided to do something rather than sit, which is why we're here, kind of.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So let's go back and the battle for second place with Justin Wang and Arthur Guo. Rookie 4 has been played by white.
Wait a second. Something happened.
Yeah, there's no black rook on the board. Black gave the exchange back.
He did.
Right.
I'm going back.
Okay.
Right.
I played rookie 5.
Yep. Gave
I
it.
wonder if white had to take right away. I guess
Probably not, but
F6 is hanging.
That is the awkward point. The knight's one move from playing rook F1.
Yeah.
That's
Nice defense.
going anyway.
Yeah, you might as well take it. Like knight g3 also looks quite good, and then but after queen f6, you'd probably exchange and end up taking the rook, and you still have a really great position. But there's no reason not to take the rook.
And then that's how we got to this position here.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean now the C and D pawns should be way too strong.
Dangerous.
And not to mention your king is still not amazing. Like G5 is maybe still a mating threat at some point.
If Justin wins this game, he'll leapfrog over Arthur into second place. So a lot on the line in this game.
Well, Justin must have entered the tournament as one of the, absolute favorites. I mean, international master with the USCF rating close to 2550. He was right up there with Christopher and maybe with Andrew if you had to, predict before the tournament. But of course, that's based on them playing, face to face. Those ratings, they're not based on online play.
Yeah, and it is classical, so sometimes I think people who are used to playing blitz online, when they play classical online, they play really fast, just on autopilot kind of. So sometimes it works against you, but playing online is very different. I want to say it's not even close to related, which is probably an exaggeration, but it's very different.
Actually, we were talking early because we noticed the time control is G70 plus 10, but it seemed like the players are playing pretty quick in the earlier rounds. And they seem to have settled in as the tournament progressed, but thinking maybe all the online playing was carrying everyone too fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think like when I used to play US Chess League, when it was called that, and it was longer time controls and everything, I really made sure I had a board set up and was thinking over the board, and it makes you treat it more like a classical game. And even recently I played a couple training games, and I did the same thing where I just made sure I had it set up on a board, and at the end you switch to the computer because otherwise you're just too slow. But it's a completely different thing, at least for me. And I think for some of the younger players it's an easier switch because they're used to playing on the computer all the time.
The time, yeah.
But it's still like they often will play too fast, I think, because they're treating it like an online game kind of thing. You usually don't play slow games online. Knight f6, that can't be a fun move to make.
Black seems to be in serious trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, just taking on e5.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really bad.
That bishop does not.
At least there's not that pawn on f6 that was such a bone in Black's throat.
Kind of, but the f file and like
still,
not it hasn't improved that much.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Black lost that great square on c5 for his knight that he had before.
I mean, this looks.
God, look at that diagonal for White's bishop.
I think that move rook e3. I mean, Black had such a good game earlier. Nick and I were looking at it, before this, and Black had some, the wind was in Black's sails. Just had all these nice moves and everything, and then rook e3 showed up on the board, and I think that really turned the game around.
And this was a Benoni?
Najdorf.
Najdorf.
Oh, it was a Najdorf.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's a good thing I know about pawn structures. No, but yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah.
Queen e3 and c5.
Immediately rook e3.
Black's bishop on a6 is still like completely out of the game.
Even if it mobilizes to c8, it's out of the game.
It looks like rook f8 is forced, probably. I would have played queen e3, but what do I know?
It's nice to keep an eye on f7 though. I don't mind with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about just making sure you kind of do it clean. Like the one drawback to rook e3 for me is that you're blocking the queen, so c5 is no longer a thing. Yeah, king g7 makes sense, and now I guess you bring the knight in and just kind of play like this. Although queen b2 type moves might come into play at some point. I don't know. But probably you just play simply, right? Just bring your knight in. Even if you end up just trading off the knight on f6, centralizing your queen.
Black's a pawn down to boot, and white has 2 passed pawns.
Yeah.
Something's gonna give.
So maybe just knight d2 and knight e4.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, and then rook takes, queen d4, just put the queen in the center, and then at some point you'll be able to push. Yeah?
All right, so knight g3 still probably the same idea, knight e4.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's probably a lot of ways to win it, right? But
yeah.
This seems simplest. Because you don't have to do anything exotic, right? Like you have the 2 connected passers, and the bishop's really bad on a6. Just trade off the knight.
Well, queen b2 is already a threat.
Yeah, queen b2, if allowed, why not? But then queen b2, queen c5, queen f6, okay, so it doesn't even work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So Josh, what are your predictions for the candidates coming up in October?
I don't even know. Like, it's going to be so weird. Like, I feel like predicting it is going to be just impossible. Like, I mean, playing under those conditions with already half the tournament being done and the scores, like, I think that it could be a completely different tournament. The people in the lead could be playing badly now, and the people who are behind, like, say Ding starts playing better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's already too far behind probably, but I could easily see, like, anyone 50% and above winning just because who knows what state the players will be in now. Like, I would say right now, I mean, just the leaders have the advantage, just they obviously start with more points, but I mean, honestly, it's too impossible to predict, right?
It's like anyone that had momentum may not be carrying it with them now.
Yeah. Yep. And it's like, I mean, I'd say normally, Nepo has to recover from that horrible French loss to MDL, and now they have to share the lead, but it's like recovery, he's had like 6 months or something, right? It's usually enough time.
So black got his king to d7.
Yeah, just a few more squares to go.
And this is Rui and Robert.
And white was not able to sack on d5, I'd take it.
So it looks like black's just trading on c3 and playing rook c8.
Yeah. The more pieces black trades, the more I like black's position, quite honestly, because I think that the queen side in the endgame, like black gets in on knight c4 type move at some point, it's not going to look
maybe
so bad.
If black plays after rook takes and rook c8, white can take on c8 and then take on a5.
You want to take on c3 with the rook. Okay. I was thinking of bishop takes, and then maybe it's kind of inconvenient because you don't necessarily want to let white take your knight, and if knight c6, you at least have to worry about the sack.
Right.
And in fact, the sack looks quite dangerous still to me because you're going to be pinned up in addition.
And she'll play it.
But bishop takes c3, maybe you pin the bishop is a better way to play.
Right, rook c8.
But even a move like rook f1, I don't necessarily mind.
Right,
it's not ideal.
And get ready to play f5, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like black should try pinning this bishop. Even queen c6 may not be dumb because then you can try to play knight c4 next because your queen's defended.
Right.
So yeah, queen c6 is kind of tricky, but maybe it actually makes sense.
Let's take a look at the Max Liu Christopher Yu game. Here we are in this position.
So why put the queen on d3, king on d3?
Knight d5 looks like a threat.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Is there some way black can defend the f6 pawn in anticipation, like you root the knight? Well, I guess on knight d5 you have to play knight d7.
Yeah. But knight d5, knight d7,
knight e7, knight e7, yeah, it looks grim. You're gonna have to play g5 and.
But then I could take on f5. I think that's pretty clear. Yeah? No, I mean knight d5. You probably have to take on c4, right?
Yes, I think.
And then check on b2 and try to get counterplay this way. But I'm wondering if white has a more clever way to do it, where you don't allow even that. maybe you're asking too much, but like I was even considering king c2. Maybe it's too intricate, right? But that's the way you can kind of screw things up. So you have to be careful. But my idea is like king c2 and if a4 go back. I don't know. Yeah.
Tough position here.
Yeah. Actually, that does look kind of annoying, right? King c2, you can never take on c4, right? If a4, you just go back to d3. Like, what is black playing? It seems like black can only play moves that worsen their position. Maybe after king c2, they move the king back. That's more clever. So yeah, maybe it's too intricate. Maybe knight d5 is just plenty good enough. And you shouldn't complicate your life. Because knight d5, knight c4, knight f6, you're threatening knight d7 and then attacking the g-pawn as well.
Right.
So even after knight b2, king c2, knight back, say, you can just go and attack the g-pawn.
There's no black pieces over on that side of the board.
Yeah. Okay, he goes for it.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the one attempt to be clever would actually be a move like king e2. Because after king e2, it's actually kind of funny. Like if if the king goes back, then you play knight d5, knight c4, knight f6. And the knight has no squares on from c4 that are convenient, and the king's farther away. The only problem is maybe then they try to go out, they try to like make it so your knight can't get in, but this is probably better. Like it's just easier. So I'm curious what black's gonna do. Maybe black should play knight takes c4 and then go back to d6 just to prevent knight d7.
And then knight h7, trying to play knight f8.
And then knight d7. But even then, right? Like you can just play. You can play king c3, right? That's the problem with knight endgames. If you're down a pawn, it kind of I can play it like a king and pawn endgame a lot of the time.
Right.
So,
sure.
Yeah. Or wait, sorry, the pawn's on c3. I'd have to play c4 first, but or maybe a4 or some move like this. I don't know. Or a4 knight b6 is probably a bad idea, but yeah.
If I'm white, I'm very happy here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you still gotta convert it though.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably knight b6 is the best try. Yeah, because knight b2 check I liked at first also, but maybe his idea is king c2, knight a4, but I can even play king b3 if I need to.
Or knight d7 check and knight e5 check.
Check. Yeah, drive the king away and attack g6.
Yeah, but knight d7 I'm probably playing king d5, sorry. So if you play knight e5, I could even think about g5 there, for example.
Wow, this is very quite intricate.
Yeah. So the idea here would be knight d7 and then king d5, no?
And king d6.
And then knight f8?
And knight e3, f1.
Yeah.
The knight's going to have to try to win on the queen side by one tempo or something, with the king side pawns getting all exchanged.
Yeah. No, it's still not easy.
All right, let's flip over to Rui's game where there have been moves played.
So queen c6 was played, and then bishop d2, and then
Queen b5. So
White has to be a little careful here, though. Like, if you allow queen d3, it could be quite bad, no?
right.
Yes.
White has this extra space, and the pieces exchange is kind of loose. I mean, f5 allow bishop g5 at some point possibly, but queen d3 seems like the main.
Like, you can play queen f1, but you don't really want to exchange queens here. I mean, it looks weird, but I think the endgame. I'm not sure I like White's position very much, especially because you have to take on F1 with the knight, and then Rook H3 happens, and probably you're even busted or your position's quite bad.
Yeah, I mean, then Rook D3 is coming. Yeah.
Maybe Queen D1 holds everything out.
Queen D1. So what happens if Rook H3 there?
Rook C3.
How about Rook C3 right away? Oh, Bishop A3.
Yeah, Bishop A3 might even be possible after Rook H3, Rook C3 in that line as well. Oh no, but you're attacking B3, so I'd have to play A4 first or something, and then maybe you have a defensive idea like King G3.
It definitely seems like whatever White had before is gone.
I mean, yeah, now White has to be extremely careful.
And
It would not surprise me if White's losing.
While all the games are still going, we just want to give a special shout out to Dwayne Barber, who sponsored the prize pool for this event. The Dean of Scholastic Chess himself and the U.S. Chess Federation contributing a $6,000 scholarship to the winner to the college or university of their choice. And there's also a $1,200 cash prize pool with this. So thank you to Dwayne Barber and the U.S. Chess Federation for supporting an event like this and giving this opportunity for these kids to compete at the high level even during the pandemic. So thank you, Dwayne, for your generosity, and thank you to the U.S. Chess Federation.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne's been around forever. I mean, I remember him directing the National Junior High like back in like 1987 or so.
Oh,
and he goes much further back than even that. So,
John, I was at the U.S. Open one year, a couple years ago, when it was in Wisconsin actually, and we were at a dinner where there was a lot of us, and I was saying how the only national championship that I ever played in was the National Junior High Championship in Buena Park. And then he goes, I was the tournament director of that, or the organizer of that event. I'm like, wow, I had absolutely no idea.
Yep, I was there. I remember it.
That's kind of funny. We were all there. I was a kid, 1400 rated or something like that.
I like this knight F1. It sets up the idea of Queen C3 or something.
Oh. Oh, yeah, could still be done. Take and then Rook C3.
So maybe White trades and plays F5. Or something, because...
But F5 doesn't do that much, does it?
No, it does. It's not... Black's king's not going to be that exposed. That's true. And D4 and B2 are clear targets.
Yeah.
As well as Bishop takes A3 in the works.
Right, that's also... You're right. Yeah. Yeah, this just doesn't look good for White anymore. You know, sometimes you're reading books that like Queen and Knight against Queen and Bishop are like this great combination to have. And in some positions they are, but in some positions they're not.
Yeah, interesting.
White needs a blockade here.
Yeah. So what does White need for a blockade though? So what? Something like King F2, Queen C3. Maybe even put the pawn on G5, as ugly as that looks.
Yeah, that makes some sense.
Or
just keep the bishop out.
Right.
Yes.
Queen F1 here and Queen D3.
Yeah.
Well, then the black queen will go to C2.
Yeah. The queen to C2 is something I would really rather not allow. Yeah, Queen C3 check seems like a must to me, but then King F2 is possible? Because if Bishop H4, you have King F3. I don't think there's a big deal. Bishop E1? Ooh. Maybe. You need to make two moves. Because I'm assuming that allowing Queen E2 is bad, although maybe that's...
What about G5? Bad? Oh, she plays Knight B1.
But now Queen C4 and Queen C2?
That seems...
Why can
so Queen C4, Queen C3?
And then Queen E2.
No, that would be nice, except for it's illegal.
Pardon? Queen C... Oh, yeah, you're right. Queen C3 check, of course. Yeah. King to D... All right, so first that move. And now Queen C4 straight. So what to do for White?
like what's the setup White's going for? Like the knight on c3, I guess blocks, but it is also can be taken, right? So something like queen c4, like even knight c3, queen c4, queen defends the d pawn, queen e3, for example. I can play bishop d8, and it doesn't seem like you're holding that, right?
Right. You got bishop b6 and bishop a5 coming.
Yeah. I thought that you had to hold it with the queen on c3 somehow. But even there, the bishop coming to a5 could just be too much.
How about queen to f1?
Queen f1?
Queen c6.
Yeah.
Now if knight c3, you have bishop a3 and...
Bishop a3, maybe you could do... No, you're right. It's just bad.
Let me do a check-in on the Christopher Yu game.
Tactics seem to be favoring black there.
So a4. So white did put the king on e2. So what happens if knight d7 check here? Which I assume would be the idea.
King d5.
Yeah, so then knight f8 probably. The king on e2 is very well placed.
Yeah.
Because you can try moving the knight and playing king c4, but I always have king d2, and I don't see a great square for your knight.
Yeah, knight d7 and knight f8. What's wrong with that?
So I'm looking at knight d7. Sorry?
Knight d7, king d5, knight f8, knight d6.
Trying to play king c4, knight e4, yeah?
Or knight e4.
Or knight e4 direct. I mean, such a struggle for...
King g3 then.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Knight e4.
But then you can play c4 check, and then...
And then take the g6 pawn for the c4 pawn.
Well, maybe the knight's going to take g3, right?
So knight d7, king d5, knight f8, knight d6, king d3. Oh, I see. King d3, knight e4, knight g6, knight g3.
Okay, I have a different idea here. What if I play, instead of knight d7 check, what if I play king d3? So my idea is that if you play knight b2 check, for example, or knight d6, but knight d6, I wanted my king on d3. So what can I do there?
But he played knight e7.
Okay. The difference though is that I can play, in that line, I can put my knight on e5, which I thought would be quite advantageous. And my idea was that if you try to just play knight b2 and go back, then I can actually get the same position but with black to move. And the knight covers the d5 square. Again, not sure about because here, like, knight d6 looks just very annoying, and you can't play knight e5. Like, if you play king d3 first, knight d6, you can play knight e5 after the check. And then if knight e4, you can play, for example, maybe... No, c4 doesn't work.
But what happens here? King d3, knight e4, c4 check. Where does the king go, to c6 or c5?
Probably c5.
Yeah, that's got the additional idea of maybe being able to go to b4, huh? Yeah, it's scary.
A lot going on there. And going back to this game, Rui did play... she went to f1. And this is the position, queen, knight to c3.
But bishop a3, ba3, queen c3, queen b5 can just be met by queen c6. So...
Yep.
Is white looking to go queen b5 here? Do we Does she want the trade of
Bishop
queens?
A3.
That's actually maybe a good idea.
If you get a free move, then yeah. But
yeah. But Bishop
queen
A3.
queen on top of- Yeah, Bishop A3 looks quite bad, right?
Oh, well, Bishop A3 is Queen A1 a possibility?
Wow.
Ooh.
So Queen A1, Bishop B4.
Knight A4.
Knight A4, and then you don't have a move, right?
Well, try Knight C5 check if.
So I was gonna move my king actually. So I was gonna play, say, King E7,
Yeah.
and then if you let me, I was gonna pin you, and then move my king on G7, and then try to win. Okay, probably I don't need to do that, but Queen A1's a really nice idea. That's easy to miss.
Let me do a quick check-in on Justin Wang and Arthur Guo. Look at this position we have here.
Oh yeah.
I think the fat lady's singing.
Yeah, you probably have to try what? No, King F8 can't work, so maybe you have to try King F8 actually. But that looks, or maybe just Bishop C8 and put it on. But I mean, then C5. I mean, you have to allow something horrible.
Well, yes, definitely lost. Yeah.
And just to give us some attention here, the Andrew Hong, Christopher Shen game. We haven't checked in on this one in a bit.
Complicated struggle.
Yeah. Now I think about ideas like H5 and even, hinting at H4, I guess I want to say. And if you try to take that pawn, I don't know.
White's just played Rook A1, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To play A4, maybe.
So check this in game. Here we are with Christopher's game. Just moving over because we have some moves played.
King E5. Knight or so.
So what happens if Knight G6?
Knight G6, Knight G3, right?
And then maybe Knight H4, just put the knight on tie the black pieces to defend F5, maybe?
The problem is it doesn't, because I can play Knight H5.
Oh yeah.
I feel
yeah.
like if you allow King C4, it's probably not great. And if you, and then you might have to defend. So probably you're gonna have to defend that pawn.
So if black liquidates if all the pawns are gone on the king's side, what are White's winning chances in this with the C pawn and the knights?
I'd say not great. It depends though where the C pawn is, where the knights are, right? Like if you've made black passive and the A pawn is weak, then by all means, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
the two
maybe
pawns
that's
with
where
knights
this
do
is
win.
heading, huh?
Maybe. Although I think White should try to hang on to their F pawn. I don't think it's impossible. But the problem is you need a way to get the black king from blockading your C pawn, and that's kind of the tricky part.
Moving to Rui's game, which has progressed a little bit here.
I didn't take, huh?
E3 was no money.
She got lucky. Finally, somebody hesitated against her. And that may be what she needs.
Yeah. Well, here F5 makes sense, right? Because the bishop is no longer going to be on E7.
Right. I mean, you need to play F5 to have counterplay. Otherwise, black's bishop was coming to B6 and hitting B4. But you're right, you're going to be opening the F file and having King F7.
I think White must be at least equal here now, probably. Busting open the king's side in the center like that.
I mean, I don't feel like White's really playing for edge here, but I would definitely say that if black, I can see black I can see black losing, even though I don't think they should ever be worse, just because it's so easy to overpress.
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden maybe you're getting mated, but I don't know. It's still quite complicated.
Back to Christopher's game
Sure.
here.
After all those great games of Christopher playing so well, and then he's sitting here struggling to pawn down.
Well,
Yeah, but he still might draw. Yeah, it's not
Right.
easy at all.
although Max is under 9 minutes now.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what it costs to get
Christopher
that extra pawn.
It costs you time, yeah.
Yeah.
And then speaking of time, if we're looking at Justin Wang's game, Arthur's under 5 minutes as black. And then trying to defend this.
Yeah, it's just a matter of calculating and making sure you don't allow some weird perpetual when you try something. I think you actually need to get the queen on the right square, so I'm tempted even by... I guess king f2 immediately is a little... No, maybe, because if check, you can just bring the king to d2, right? But I want to put the queen on e3. I don't like this queen on b3, to be honest. I thought the queen on e3 was quite strong, no?
Right. It seems like you want to play
Yes.
c5 where you eventually can. I mean, if you play d6, you'll have bishop d7, but maybe it doesn't matter.
It kind of is annoying though, right? Because I can check on
Yes.
b2 afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Start off with bishop f3.
Then queen b2 check.
Queen b2 check.
That's why I'm a little annoyed by this. Like, I kind of want to play king f2, queen e3. Like, I want to put the queen back on e3.
Yeah.
That's okay. Bishop f3, queen b2 check, king to b3, queen e5 check, king to f2.
Yeah, and then you're playing queen e3 next.
And if queen check on b2 there?
King go to e3.
And then I check, I guess, what, e5?
And
But also the
e4.
bishop could have gone back to e2.
Well, bishop e4, you might allow f5, yeah?
Oh, that is true.
So bishop f3, queen b2, king g3, queen e5, king f2.
Queen b2? Oh, he played my move. Watch him lose now. Yeah. But I like the queen on e3, right? Like, it covers all these dark squares, and like the black
Yeah.
queen would then have to find a square. I'm assuming the end game, if you try to trade queens, is losing. Even if you get your king up.
Let me move over real quick to Christopher Yu's game here, as we have moves that have been played.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about this endgame. I think it's very difficult because you can kind of put the knight where you want, where it defends f4, but I don't see a square to defend f4 and then threaten to shoo the king away. Like, that's what you need to find. But I don't quite see it. Because if black ever plays knight h5, you need to be able to defend your pawn, right? So, because I'm assuming if you just trade the pawns, it's probably not enough. So...
Oh, wow. Let me do a... This is the position in Rui's game now.
So the king's gonna go to b7, and then what's happening? The checks probably continue, right? Because you don't allow... You need to make a piece of black's go backwards, yeah?
Queen f8 and queen b4.
I might just go knight to e2 here and defend the the D pawn. Try to get the white king up to help out.
So then the question is, am I allowed to take on d4 anyway?
Well, you'll win the knight back, but you'll lose the e6 pawn. Oh, I see. You're going to get more than the knight.
Well, I'm going to take on b2. I thought you could try king f2 and then knight e2, but then I take on e5. I just wasn't sure whether that was good or bad. I saw the pawn was getting to b2. That's why I was thinking about it. But my king's awfully open, so I wouldn't be too confident in it. But yeah, probably white should, after knight e2, if that doesn't work, which I don't know, I have some doubts. I would calculate it though, but maybe just move the king first so you don't take on e6 with check at least before I go for stuff. Taking that pawn with check looks a bit annoying. So say something like king d8 even.
Well, knight e2, king d8, can we play king to f2? That's the defense.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I was hoping for queen c2 type ideas, but then my king's just too open, right? You have too many checks. Yeah. No, it's like there's no great safety unless I withdraw my bishop, right? Like say play bishop c7, king b7, but then it's a lot harder to do anything, right? Yeah. Yeah, maybe knight e2 just holds it. Oh, okay.
But I don't like this check.
Neither do I.
Is she thinking
The king is getting
B4
better.
or something?
Queen e7 check and then queen b4.
That actually guards the pawn, threatens the a pawn. You have to go queen c4, I suppose.
But first
Yeah,
queen
queen
e7
4 looks
check.
really strong, right? Because if you try to take on c4 and play knight e2 there, I can play c3. Because you can't take it with the b pawn, and if knight takes, then I take on b4.
Right.
What about queen e7 check first?
Does it help? I'll play king a6 and then queen c4. That looks very bad. Yeah, I'm definitely with Nick though. Like my instinct especially was like this check has to be wrong. Because the king was kind of stuck on the back rank. And it was a good opportunity to try to hold the position.
Let's take a look at Christopher's game. And Max is under 5 minutes here.
This is not an easy task to win, even if you have more time, I think. Oh, going for the a pawn. This was not expected.
The king c4.
King a3. King
No, this should be
c3,
drawn,
King
yeah.
Big
a4.
take and knight e2.
I think white's got some chances there.
But wait, what are you doing if I play king e4?
Knight g6.
Knight e2? I could take f4, right?
Or, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Is the a pawn going? So
Not
king-
fast enough.
King e4, knight g6, knight e2, king a3, knight f4.
Well, after knight e2, I can also take on c3, by the way.
Right, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, take it like if I get to take on f4 though, I think only black can be better. So I think king e4 probably you should play king a3 and then just sack for the f pawn or something. Maybe you don't have to sack right away, but I mean it's hard to believe that's not going to be drawn.
2 pawns versus the knight. Yeah, maybe white has some chances there with. Who knows?
Moving to Rui's game, this is the current position.
Yuck.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Oh, and Josh's variation, the queen takes
With c3, yeah,
doesn't
c3
work.
is coming.
Yeah, is there any kind of defense there? But I didn't see it.
Rui.
Well, queen e7 check and queen takes e6, right? Might as well.
Yeah, you have to, but
Yeah.
it's d4 check.
And then you move your king and
Probably get mated, but
Yeah.
no. But again, like you probably, I'm kind of with you, right? Because it's you either do that or you just lose terribly. I guess though, to be fair, like your
wow.
king's the bishop's going to be pinned, so it's not going to be. Oh,
that's strange.
Is that surprising?
I suppose.
Well,
Maybe it's better though. Maybe there was no mate. I don't know.
even if there's no mate, I mean, there are so many options Black has there that look kind of devastating.
I guess coming up is queen d4 check anyway, and queen e5.
Yeah, but then you can play queen takes d5 or something. I don't know why that's so clear.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pieces coming off, and the king can kind of just hang out in the center. I want to say, like, say even king f1 here,
Right.
and taking on b2 is never going to work because your king's too open. So, yeah, I don't like bishop c7 at all. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe we're missing something. But doesn't look good.
these
Well, I
players
think-
must be tired after such a long tournament. 7 games and
Yeah.
don't know.
I was going to say something about bedtime, but no, I won't.
Well, there's a couple players on the East Coast in this tournament, but it looks like over like half the field's from California, so it shouldn't be that.
Well, both of these players are from California, so
Yes.
So they have no excuse.
no.
Yeah.
So what happens here after king f1, queen takes e5?
After king f1, queen takes e5. Queen takes d5. I would remember.
And queen takes d5, knight d5, bishop e5.
Man, is it even that bad? Oof. It'd be rough if that's also losing. Because that's like about as good as White could hope for.
You can
That's
also
it.
take on a4.
Yeah, but then king c6, I thought you were trapped and you're not in time to play knight c3,
yeah, you're
right?
right. You're
I
right.
think it's just lost if the queens come off, right? Unless White can play knight d1, but
Yeah.
can't take on d5 and play knight d1.
Yeah, the
So-
king on g2 I definitely don't like as much.
And the bishop rook pawns are the right color.
So queen d5 just seems to lose to check and then play bishop e5. Yeah, here goes. This is,
Okay, best practical chance, queen d7.
yeah.
Yeah, actually I was looking at that endgame, like after, like say, the line with knight takes d5, bishop takes b2, king e2, and then bishop takes a3, knight c3, you have to play b2 I thought, and then
Oh, I see, yeah.
king d3, bishop b4, but I think we're just losing. Because we have to play knight b1, then a3, king c2, and then I think the king can come in,
I'm gonna.
and we can never take the a3 pawn. Like, I was looking at that endgame to see whether that's actually holdable, but the knight on b1's so bad. There's just no way, I think.
Checking Christopher
King
Yu's game
c4
here.
was played, not king e4.
I mean, I don't know if Black's trying to win, but king e4 looked like a very, very simple draw. But this also looks quite drawish.
It looks like you should be drawing very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, that knight endgame proved to be very tricky.
Well, kudos to White for playing this out.
Yeah, so Max could have taken a draw and move 3, and even if the game ends up draw, he's got to feel so good about a draw in this manner than just taking the draw, I would think. Because he really pressed it and made Christopher earn it.
If White could somehow break out, take the A pawn and break out, find some way to.
Hey, you give White 3 extra tepi or so.
Yeah.
Definitely could be something.
Let's go back to this game here with Rui and Robert.
This has gotten quite exciting.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe White will win at some point.
It seems like anything can happen. Yeah, this is an example of why Bishop C7 was so counterintuitive to me. Because even here, right, like, White couldn't take on D5, but that bishop's just so passive. And it's hard to win with just your queen. I assumed at some point Black was going to try to play for D4, but Queen G5 check.
And they did draw. Christopher drew with Max Liu. So Christopher finishes the tournament with 6 out of 7.
Nice.
Nice score.
Let's check in on Justin Wang and Arthur. And
E3, all of Josh's plan.
Yep. Only terrible things can happen. Looks good enough though, no?
Black is on the ropes.
And Arthur at 1:40 in time.
Yeah.
It's time for F5, I think.
Well, I'm still wondering where the queen goes on Queen F6 check, right?
John, is that part of your chess book collection behind you?
It is, yes. But you know, the place that really has a great collection of chess books, I should mention to everybody, especially people that live in the Bay Area, is the Mechanics Institute. They have a really good chess library.
Despite the fact that I gutted it not too long ago.
Are members able to check books out?
Yeah, they can still check out books, and then the librarians will bag them, and then they arrange a pickup time where they pick up the bag and they can check out the books.
Right, because the mechanics libraries, I remember, has probably over 2,000 chess books that you can check out.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and we keep adding to the collection.
And unfortunately subtracting as well.
Well, space, but only old opening books and stuff like that go out. Yeah.
So yeah.
I still don't know. You know, the librarians thanked me, but nobody else really did.
Well, this one looks fine for White now. King E2. I don't see how White can lose.
White's queen's really well placed.
Yeah, this has been another.
Well, what a great opportunity for her, you know, to gain experience and, you know, hopefully end this tournament on, you know, a positive note the last 2 rounds on the scoreboard.
I mean, she could win.
Yeah, she could win. Yeah, Black is sort of thrashing around here.
No, I'm guessing at 12, she's probably the youngest player by far in the field. Is that right?
I'm sorry, I was responding to a TD question.
Okay.
Can you repeat it?
I was going to say, at 12 years old, I think that she's the youngest player in this tournament.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Although we do have some 13 and 14-year-olds. But yeah, she's the youngest.
Black has definitely messed this up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Black shouldn't lose, right? I think they can give a perpetual here, but if they try to do anything, it looks like they could only end up worse, right?
So we're gonna have a couple of players join in to talk about their game. I think it's gonna be Christopher Yu and Max Liu. Josh, up to you if you want to stay and hang around.
I actually should go, but thanks for having me again.
Yeah,
and,
thanks for
good to see
coming
you,
down.
Nick,
It was
John.
fun having you on the commentary.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Josh.
Nice to meet you, Josh.
Grandmaster Josh Friedel.
Nice to meet you.
Former mechanics star in the U.S. Chess League.
Those were a while ago, but yes.
The artist formerly known as the U.S. Chess League. Thanks, Josh,
Yes,
for
yes,
stopping
exactly.
by.
All right, thank you guys. See you.
Hi, Josh.
Have a good night.
Okay,
Very
good night.
cool. Josh Friedel stopping in. And I'm actually going to take our names off because we're going to have a ton of guests here. Go ahead. Take mine. Nick. Okay.
Josh lived in a house in Richmond, just on the border with El Cerrito. And in that house was also a very young Sam Shanklin and Vinay Bhatt and David Proust for a time. Lee
Wow.
Flush was there. It was like the chess house.
But,
Oh,
was like-
yeah.
but not yet Christopher Yu. Hey, Christopher, how's it going?
Good.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Christopher. You played a fantastic tournament.
Yeah.
A lot of fireworks in your game, and Max wasn't going to make it easy for you in the last round.
Yeah. That was brutal.
We'll go over your game. I think Max is going to come on in a few minutes also, but what do you think of this game here with Rui and Robert?
Okay. Let me see. Wait. Should I get on live?
Oh, yeah. If you can get to twitch.tv/mechanics and then just mute the Twitch. And then you'll see what we all see. Yep.
Okay. I'm on Twitch right now.
Perfect. So then just mute the Twitch and then keep the Zoom on. And then you should have Rui's game against Robert.
Okay.
That was an incredible grind in the last round to get that win.
Hit that draw.
Draw.
Oh, the
I guess it felt like a win.
the previous round. The previous round.
Oh yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like, strangely enough, I feel like the draw was a much bigger grind than that win.
Oh no, that's no
Felt like
doubt.
I was just doing my pieces randomly. I was enjoying my time in that position.
You're a lot more comfortable in round 6 than round 7. That's for sure.
Yeah. At least I'm gonna not lose that position. I have to worry about losing.
That's true. That's true.
Did you see a possibility for a win for White in that game?
In the game that's going on right now.
Yeah, your game, the game that just drew the night ending.
Oh, I'm not really sure. It's such a complicated night ending. I really don't know the evaluation.
Yeah, he thought.
And I don't know where he went from. It's very confusing.
Was this pretty much the only round where you were actually worried about loss?
Wait, I'm gonna check my other draw. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Max in, and maybe you guys can go over a little bit of that end game. And he's coming in a second here. Hey, Max.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, congratulations on that draw and that last game. Really pushed it to the limit there.
Yeah,
And
it was nice to be playing for a bit.
Yeah. I know the tournament did not go as a whole probably the way you were looking for, but that was a phenomenally played final round game.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you have a good tournament and sometimes not. But it was fun. So.
Yeah, no, that's the right attitude. Now I'm glad you see it that way, and maybe the last round kind of gives you that little boost. Before we check out your game, look at this craziness. What do you guys think? This is Rui and Robert and Max. Go to the twitch.tv/mechanicschess and then mute the Twitch, and then you'll see what we see.
Okay.
I'm just stunned by what is happening in this game.
What is going on here?
Oh wow.
Who's winning? I don't know that any of the IMs or GMs among us here could say for sure.
Suddenly, White's not.
White shouldn't be winning, but I feel maybe Black can play like Queen E3, Queen D3, Queen E3, try to go for perpetual. I'm not.
After Queen E3,
After Queen E3, it would be nice if White could play King D5, but I think Queen D3 is a problem. So I guess you have to take D5, and then we get Queen D3, King E6, Queen H3 check, King E7, Queen H7, and it just seems like a perpetual. So if Black finds that, it's just a draw.
Yeah, this is absolutely nuts. I'm gonna flip over to your guys' game, and I'm gonna take a look at the a part of the end game here.
They drew? Oh no, sorry.
No, that was like Christopher and Max. Paul and Nick, or Christopher, you're looking at this position from this point. Actually, the one part we were looking at was this move. You'll see it come up where we played C4.
Oh yeah.
Like what was the mindset there? Was that kind of the way?
I was getting really tired of being grinded down, so I decided kind of to spice it up a little bit. I actually missed that just 93, 95 when I played it. I thought I had some kind of fortress with my king on c5 and knight on d6.
Hey, what did you think, Max, when you saw that?
I thought it was a little unnecessary. I wasn't sure like how much it would change the evaluation of the position, but
yeah, I think
I
Josh
thought something
maybe
just like staying put was what he was gonna go for.
And then so we had these moves play out. And when you got to around this position, Max, were you still feeling pretty comfortable? And because from your end,
sorry,
because your end, you're thinking you're not worse for sure, but did you still think you had the winning chances?
Yeah. Well, I definitely can't lose, but I like the pawns starting to come off is a little bit steers the game a little towards a draw more, but I still thought I had good chances because I have like some knight d7 or knight fa idea, or at least that's what I thought in the game. And I also have a passed c-pawn, and my pieces are pretty well placed. So I thought I could like at least go for a win for at least a bit more.
And guys, something happened here in Rui's game.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Whoa.
so this is what happened here. So we have the check.
Oh my.
Oh my,
So
she went into the variation I mentioned with King D5, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And playing it off slowly, and then just got trapped right there.
I'm pretty sure she had to play King takes D5.
Yeah, went the wrong way and then just got mated. She deserved a lot better than what she got, but
What a game.
yeah, it was an amazing game, and it's tough because like virtually every game she played had something where she found a resource and fought back, and then just came up a little bit short. So tough loss there for her on that one. Just checking in on the games that are going. Andrew Hong's got 15 seconds left here in this.
Whoa. Oh, wow.
Oh, not. Sadly, I'm not sure how surprising.
Rook G2 check.
Rook G2 is winning, or oh no, King H1.
Then G2.
Rook G2, King H1.
Oh, Rook G2, King H1.
Queen F3.
That looks pretty good too. Gosh.
Oh,
my
Queen
goodness.
F3.
Look at
That
Yeah.
I think White is just amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And
Not
just-
Andrew's tournament here.
Black hides in A6 there.
Wow.
This is a
Yeah.
French defense. I don't want to look at this, Nick.
Whoa. Yeah. Wow. Christopher Shen delivers the mate.
Queen F1. That's a bit desperate.
Hoping for pre-move on Queen.
Hoping for a free move.
And this is the last game going on here.
Oh no, it's great. All the interesting games last round.
Yeah, round 6 was crazy. Every single game was just nuts. And then round 7, some fun games too.
Black's given himself a real chance in this game too.
All the pawns on the queen side are on dark squares. That's interesting.
So guys, stick with us for the commentary.
Wow.
At the end of the tournament, we'll see who we can get, and we'll do sort of a quick post-wrap ceremony. So Justin Wang and Arthur are sort of battling it out for second, third position here.
Wait, there's a ceremony.
Well, sort of. We're gonna call it a ceremony. We're gonna hang out, and
Whoever tells the best joke.
that's the ceremony.
Does it start right after all the games are over?
Yeah, we're just waiting for this game to end, and then we'll just congratulate you, thank everyone, and yeah.
But this game will never end.
Arthur's got a minute on his clock.
Well,
Hey,
What
Robert.
a battle this has been.
Joining us is Robert Schliatenko, and man, you survived that. That was a that was a crazy game.
yeah, I still can't believe it's been 6 games since I lost. I was last here. It was just too much.
But yeah, we
A lot of chess.
we saw
in-
we saw that
3
ending.
days.
So congratulations on that win.
Thank you. Yeah, both my last games were incredibly lucky. But
Sometimes luck is as good as skill. But,
I was also unlucky in my first 2 games, or maybe not unlucky, but I was just bad. So I got my reward here.
and so this is the last game of the round, and we're having Christopher.
White now has the idea of playing Queen D4, and that's a strong idea.
Christopher Shen.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
Fantastic win in that last round
Yeah,
there.
thank you.
Yeah, we saw that. Pretty incredible. Just want to thank you all for providing a lot of great action in these games. And we're following the last game of the round right here between Justin and Arthur. Battle for second place. So, Christopher Shen, how did the tournament feel for you? It was certainly had to have felt like a marathon. 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday.
Yeah, it was certainly it was an endurance round because especially after the second round, around well, it was 4 p.m. Eastern for me.
Yeah.
And it's only a 3-hour difference, so it's definitely tight.
No, that's
But,
right. Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
tough on the players in terms of that.
Hey, Andrew.
yeah.
How's it going? Thanks for hanging out with us. We're just watching the final moments of the the game going here between Justin and Arthur. Arthur under a minute. And Arthur is currently, if he can get a win or a draw, I think he might have second place wrapped. But Justin trying to leapfrog him with a victory.
What are the standings like right now?
Oh, so Christopher and Andrew, go to twitch.tv/mechanicschess if you can, and then just mute the Twitch, and then you'll be able to see what we're seeing. Sorry about that. Twitch.tv/mechanicschess. And we're going to be rooting on Justin Wang to make decisive moves here.
But it's going to be.
Since he's got 10
It's going to take a little bit of time.
So while you guys are here, because I don't know what you guys have going on, we'd love to have you stay on. But since we have the bulk of you here, we just want to thank all of you from Judit and John McCumsky, the tournament directors, Nick de Firmian, Paul Whitehead, John Donaldson, all of us, to you. Thank you all for participating in the U.S. Cadet Championship. And you guys get a special thank you from the sponsor, Dwayne Barber, who all of you know, the Dean of Scholastic Chess. And congratulations to Christopher Yu, the 2020 U.S. Cadet Champion. You will get a $6,000 scholarship to the college or university of your choice, as well as the $600 first place prize. So congratulations to you, and thank you, all of you. Thank you for just fighting chess all throughout the weekend, and especially on the last day. It's been a lot of fun covering the action. And on the Mechanics YouTube channel, we've already started uploading the videos, so feel free to enjoy. Don't take any of the criticism to heart if you hear it in the broadcast. But it was a lot of fun covering the games. So just thank you all for pouring your heart out in through your chess. It's been a lot of fun, and everyone watching the broadcast had a lot of fun watching.
Yeah, thanks so much. It was very well organized and run event. So
yeah, and this could not have been done without Judit Sztaray, who is behind the scenes directing. She started up all your games, uploaded the web page as soon as the rounds were over, submitted the games to Dr. Ken Regan, who reviews them all for fair play, and just all the organizing, the emails, a lot of work. She works really hard. We want to thank her for all of that, and the chief tournament director, John McCumsky. He's a high school teacher working hard, and worked hard throughout the weekend, monitoring the games and being in the back room. So thank you to those TDs. They're not on the camera here, but they're in the back room. They were watching you guys while you guys were on the camera. But this couldn't have been done without them. So kudos and special thank you to the tournament directors behind the scenes. And we got these two players still here fighting it out. Arthur down to 20 seconds left. As soon as this game's over, we'll update the standings and we'll have the final standings. What do you think, Nick, John? How's this looking?
Looks like White's King's going to end up on B5 or A6, and it's going to win that A5 pawn.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out, like king to E5, queen to G3 check. Better not go queen F4, F6.
Yes.
Oh, that's illegal.
It's been a long day. Troops are getting restless.
And Arthur making quick moves here. Here he goes. White trying to tuck the king away. So do you guys have school tomorrow?
I don't have school, actually one day off tomorrow.
That must be. Whoops, sorry
Tough
about that.
position for Black.
Yeah, this is it's gonna be tough.
There you run out of checks.
10
Queen
seconds
A7
left
check,
for
King C8.
Arthur. 10-second increment. Almost looks like you can go E8 or something. What's the winning move here, Paul?
Search me, and this is incredibly tough. I mean, this has been a real seesaw battle.
Hey, guy-
I still
Probably
think
good.
No, go ahead.
Is Queen C5 just Queen C5 or Queen D5 just win the pawn?
yeah.
Yeah,
Hey guys, what was this time control like? Because I'm imagining a lot of you have been playing Blitz or Rapid, maybe. How was the G70? Did it take time to adjust to that? Was it perfectly fine?
I mean, it's a quick time control, more than you're used to from over the board play, but so of course the games I think were of lower quality, at least for me, but I think by the end I managed to adjust.
Yeah, right. And we saw G70 as the sweet spot where we could do it within 3 days, with the 3 games per day and then the one on Friday, where you could at least
it
have.
definitely feels a bit rushed, but I know the Danker and the Barber was also G70 10, so at least we had a little bit of practice there.
Yeah.
Queen C5.
7 seconds.
Okay, maybe Queen E4, Queen F3 is possible. Trading with
He just took the pawn. Oh, takes a check.
Russian move 100.
I think Queen C5 just run the pawn. It's just black is not fast enough.
Yeah, this should be.
Bishop on D5.
You know.
Yeah, the bishop on D5 just controls H1, so. Now the king is tucked away.
And Arthur building a little time with the increment.
Not good for Black.
I don't think there's ever any risk of a perpetual white just has too many pieces near the king, so you can just push the pawn.
Maybe even Queen D3, right? And just shuts everything down.
Queen D6, Queen D3.
Yeah, Queen C6.
I like everything. Queen C6 is a nice one.
Yeah. Now there's just no checks anymore.
Like everything's protected.
Can winning connect 4 once you promoted your A pawn.
I mean, that's pretty solid. It's just marching.
Yeah.
Another game from our days.
I think Queen C7, and then he just takes on F7. Game's over.
Like no checks right there. Oof. Got a little nest right there. "15 seconds for Arthur."
I'm actually trying to find a way just to give a single check here as black, and I'm failing.
Yeah, there's no way.
No way. Suppose that bishop.
Well, you can always put your queen on pre.
Maybe it's gonna be 2 queens and then 1 against 1 queen.
And that's the game. So congratulations to Justin Wang. Found a way and got that win. And I think he is going to finish in 2nd place for the tournament. So I'll wait for the standings to be updated. But again, players, thank you for joining us on the broadcast, being part of this event. we wish you nothing but the best, and I know Dwayne Barbers is watching, and he's so happy to sponsor an event like this. He loves watching the young talent that we have in U.S. chess, and we think this might be the strongest U.S. chess cadet ever. We were helped sort of because of the online situation, but it was fascinating for us to watch you entertain us with the quality of your play, the action, the determination, the fight. So thank you all for being a part of all this, and just good luck with your chess, and we hope you keep playing online, and we will be following, and we will be writing an article for Chess Life, and putting it up on Chess Life Online, and all of that stuff. So thank you all for your time, and we'll be rooting for all of you in your chess careers.
Thank you. Really was a great event.
So thank you. Congratulations to Christopher Yu. We believe Justin Wang is finishing in second, and we'll wait for the standings to be updated to get the official results of who is in what situation. So if any of you guys want to hang on and till we do get the final standings. If not, feel free. You guys can log out if you want, especially on the East Coast, because I know you got might have school to attend to tomorrow. So the final standings should be up shortly. John, Paul, Nick, what do you think of these guys? What was it like following the action?
Oh yeah, they really fighting chess. I really enjoyed it.
Incredibly fighting chess, yeah.
I think there were several times over the weekends where we were saying to ourselves, we're glad we're not playing, because we would have had a heart attack in those situations. I mean, it was hard enough just covering some of these games with the position and how low you guys were on time. Let's see if it's been updated yet. Not yet. If I had to guess, though, Justin Wang is 4.5.
It's just between tiebreak between me and Justin. Depends.
So if it was between you and Justin, what was the head-to-head result? Was it decisive?
It was a draw.
And did who had more blacks? That's the second one. So
I don't know about that.
Did one of you have 4 blacks versus 3?
I had 4 blacks. Justin had 3 blacks. Yeah.
Justin had, if that was the case, and I'm looking now, he did have 3 blacks, then you would win the tiebreak. Although for the cash prize, that doesn't factor into it. So you would get third in the listing of the standings, but in terms of the cash prize, you split it evenly. And joining us is tournament director, the Dr. Judit Sztaray. Hey, Judit.
Tournament director.
Anything you want to say to these the players from the tournament directors?
Absolutely. I actually wanted to say, guys, that the prize pool is actually pooled, so we are following the standard USCF rules that pool. So both Christopher and Justin gets $300, and of course Christopher will be getting the 600. So congratulations.
Very good. And are the final standings up, or are we still waiting to put them up?
I am working on it as fast as I.
No rush. We know you're working hard.
I just figured that to log in and see and just to explain, like, only so the tiebreakers is only for the scholarship.
Yep.
Right. So that's but the standard the prizes are full.
The cash prize, the tiebreakers don't factor into that. Unless it was the top prize. So, any final parting words from anyone? John, give the players some words of wisdom from the captain of the U.S. Olympic team.
Well, I can tell you guys that when this tournament was held in Mechanics 20 years ago, the 2 guys that finished 1-2 in the tournament, you never heard of them, and they stopped playing within 3 years. Friedel, you all know, is a strong grandmaster. he finished in like in the middle of the field, and Daniel Fernandez, who I'm sure most of you know, he's a strong IM, he finished dead last. So I think the moral of the story is, stay the course, keep doing what you're doing, keep studying hard and playing in strong tournaments, and you'll get better, and enjoy your chess.
And as the standings have been updated, it looks Christopher Yu with 6 is in first place, and then a tie for second and third with Christopher Shen taking second, and Justin Wang third. Both of you with 4.5 points. So that's how it factored in. And if you go to the Cadet chess page, everything is updated there, and everything is current. Nick and Paul, any words of wisdom from Mechanics True Blood?
It's been fun watching these games. I mean, really a fight, total fight. Every game was hard fought.
Yeah,
it was fun to watch.
And if you go to Mechanics Chess YouTube channel, we'll have the rounds uploaded there. So feel free to go back and enjoy and check out you guys playing. But it was really entertaining. Any last words from you, Judit, and from the?
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you guys. It's been a pleasure feeding this event. You guys have been amazing, very cooperative, and amazing. So I never had to really TD anything, just to watch you guys play, and it's always fun to watch what you guys do. So.
We didn't have to yell at any of you guys for anything, so thank you.
I know it was a long weekend and everything, but hopefully you get some good games in to analyze, and you will enjoy the rest of the year.
All right,
and hopefully
guys.
We'll all meet in person soon.
Yeah, and for those of you that have not been to Mechanics, you got to come down and check it out and play there. And hopefully that can happen soon. And we would love to have players of your talent come and duke it out on the 100+ year wooden tables of the Mechanics Institute. So, all right, everyone.
Shout out to US Chess and Dwayne Barber. US Chess has been amazing supporter of online chess. They have established the online regular rating, and this tournament will be online regular rated, obviously. And just the fact that we could hold a national tournament, there you go. the fact that we could actually hold a national tournament online, that shows the support of US Chess and of course Dwayne Barber. So great.
And actually the thing too about that is it's more than us just being able to hold the event online. I mean you just saw the quality, the tension, the action, the grit, the fight. It's just awesome, and I'm glad we were still able to do that online and kind of showcase it rather than not have the event. So I'm really glad we were able to have this opportunity from US Chess and online play and online ratings, and with the sponsorship of Dwayne Barber and US Chess. Really happy this was able to happen, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun this weekend. All right, everyone. From the Mechanics Institute and from all the players, thank you for joining us for the 2020 US Cadet. Have a great evening, everyone, and be safe and keep playing chess.